Alright, so it's your first lab with Adobe Illustrator. Some of you know Adobe Illustrator already, but what I thought I would do today is just walk you through how I would do this lab. And yes, it won't be as easy for you because most of you don't know what you're doing with Illustrator, but you can see what I'm shooting for in this lab by watching this brief tutorial. Now, I'm not going to complete the lab for you in this tutorial, but I will show you some tricks and basically what I expect you to do to get started. So here's the lab handout as it exists currently. It might be slightly different if you're viewing this in the future. And there's a list of things to do. It doesn't totally tell you how to do any of these things, and that's the caveat. So let's go over to Adobe Illustrator. And the first thing you're going to want to do is go to File, New. And whenever you create a new document, it's really important that you don't just hit OK here, but you take a minute to think about this. So first of all, we can name our document how it will be saved by default right here. And I prefer, in general, if you're in a class of mine and not just watching this online, that you always use your last name and then give the name of the lab. And this is good protocol for the rest of the semester. Under Profile, let's click here. And we'll just pretend that this is for the web. Maybe we're going to make a web map out of this somehow. So we'll click on Web, which will give it an RGB color space, which we'll talk about later. And then we can pick a size. So pick any size. Well, don't pick any size. Let's pick 1280 by 800. Units, pixels, that's fine. Alright, so here we have it, our artboard. It's very nice, I guess, and it's quite blank. So the next step here is to place something on our artboard. Let's go back to the directions, download and save, blah blah blah, last name, got that. Rename layer 1 as base map and import the file JMU image onto the canvas. Alright, so that's what we'll do next. So layers, here's the layers panel. It looks like a bunch of layers. To rename a layer, it's pretty easy. You just click on it, double click on it, and I forget what I said to call this, but follow the directions. I'll call it base map. And now what we want to do with this layer highlighted is import an image. So to do that, we go to File, and unfortunately in almost every program universally it's called import, but in Adobe programs it's typically called place. Place means import, to bring something into or onto our canvas. So let's hit place and let's find that image. I think it's this one. That looks good. I'll click and drag it so it's plenty big. If you don't like the size, you probably want to make it. You want to make the image take up as much space as possible on your map. Leave a little space. We're going to trace it, so it's okay if it goes to the edge, because the main thing we're going to be interested in here today is the mall and these old buildings here. All right, this is important. Up here on the properties bar, whatever, that's what I call it. I don't know what the official word is. When you have the image selected, once you've placed it, hit embed. If you don't hit embed, what will happen is if you don't have the picture saved somewhere else, it basically won't be able to find it next time you open this document. So kind of like an MXD in ArcGIS, if it can't find the shape files or whatnot, geodatabases, it won't be able to bring them in. Same with Adobe with raster images. So let's hit embed. And now it's actually saved within the document. So no matter where you save this AI file, Adobe Illustrator file, it will be with it. Alright, and then here down in the layers panel, let's hit lock. Actually, correct that. Select this one more time. Let's go to opacity and let's make this 35. Now down here, let's hit lock. And that's the first step. That's how you're going to set this up. You can go to File, Save, and save it to a folder, preferably on your hard drive. By default it has your last name, Lab 1, so you don't have to worry about that. And hit Save. And in the next tutorial I'll show you how to use the pen tool.